I was rather focused on me, just on me. That's it. And at the end of the day, if I was satisfied with the things I've done, then I was satisfied, no matter what the result was. At the end of the day, if you did a good job, if you completed your task, if you can be proud of yourself, then it's a great day, and then proceed to the next one. It's a little bit awkward because I played American football as an Austrian. Austria is this very little small country where Arnold Schwarzenegger is from. That's why probably most of the Americans know what Austria is. Otherwise, you probably guys wouldn't know that. And I played American football, got a scholarship up in Vermont, played for the Norwich University Cadets there. And I had some fun there. And then back then in 2005, I discovered my love for digital marketing. We made the first campaigns, did the real psychology behind digital marketing, all this kind of stuff. And then when I went back to Austria, nothing was there yet. So it was some clients came in our agency and said, "Hey, have you heard of this new, very uncommon search engine called Google? Can you give me a spot on Google or something like this? How can I pay you for that?" And this is where it all started. And I mean, as you always, I would say, on the rise again. I listened to some topics the other day, and as a lot of people are struggling with lead gen nowadays and all doing Facebook and TikTok and whatever, I think SEO is pretty decent again. And this was kind of my first start. So I dominated all the search engine result pages in Austria, did a lot of affiliate stuff. From there, I went to social, built a few social Facebook pages with a few million followers, and worked in an agency. So 10 years ago, I worked in an agency and did this like a side hustle. And then I decided to really get out of this agency and start my own thing. And this is called Riffbird right now. So this is a performance marketing agency since I think 4 or 5 years already. And we're doing pretty good. What we do is recruiting campaigns. So I don't know, in the US, in Europe, it's definitely like this, that we are having problem with finding people with skill. So there's a skills shortage on labor in the UAE, in the EU. And as we guys doing lead gen, you can do the same thing for finding employees for the companies, which is a really, really interesting niche, because there are a lot of players in there. It's the same tactics than you do in lead gen. And it's really fun. And then that's where our field is. So basically, we're serving clients from Germany, Europe, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, the German-speaking market. We also had some experience in the US, but we gave this up because of time zone interferences. So I didn't like to work at night that much. I'm more the early kind of guy, and that's what we're doing. We're doing solid 7 figures. We are on our way to 8. There are 3 things I would like to talk about, which really moved the needle for me. The first thing is a really new thing, because we had this kind of agency, and when we also did some kind of consulting based business, because I thought it's a good idea to run a really good profitable agency and then also consult other people in doing the same thing. And it worked pretty good. So we made 7 figures with the consulting business as well. But we decided to put this down with the year 2022 because of 2 reasons. First one is focus. You heard this already. We all as an entrepreneur think, 2 things, we can do 2 things. But for now, in the first 14 days, being focused on really one business only, we made almost 6 figures in 14 days on sales. really, really fast with almost no effort. So I really experienced the drive, what I get to kill the babies and really focus on one thing, even if I had concerns to stop the agency business because of like, margin. Consulting margins are great, as we know. Agency margins are lower, but still, the kind of focus I got back once I killed this baby really moved the needle. So this was a really long road for me. I always had like multiple plates to juggle, but this was very, very interesting. So I thought, if somebody of you maybe have like different plates to juggle, this is maybe the wake-up call to really think about what the focus could do, even if you're thinking you're investing in I would say, in not the business, right? Because we always try to look for the business. What's the best thing out there? What's the best thing we can do? And for us in the first 14 days, 2022, it was really, really good. And I guess it's going onwards like this. So this was the first thing why we killed this baby. The second thing was partnership. And this is maybe also a good lesson I can share. So I have a partner for my agency and I had a partner for my consulting business. And I would say the hunger wasn't the same, right? So maybe you know this as well. You have some partnerships, you have some business relationships or whatever. And I always had to kick this guy in the ass to really, get going, do this, do this, do this, even though he was really, really smart and was really good at the consulting part. It stressed me out like hell to, going all in, but also have to worry about him not going all in and always like, come on, man, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this and this and this? And since we agreed to split parts and doesn't do this anymore, it's a new level of freedom, because not only I have the focus, I also got back my energy, which I used unconscious to, thinking about the other guy. What did he do? Did he do his test? Did he do this? Did he do that? And all this kind of stuff. So this is all unconscious, what I had. But this really also, was a big difference for me. Because I'm happy hustling right now. As I don't know if you know the term, a friend of mine, Kerry Jack, he's a great podcast, by the way. It's called the Happy Hustling Podcast. And he speaks about, doing all the grind, doing all the work, really hustling, but doing this from a state where it is actually really, really fun. And I lost this kind of state for quite a bit in the last, I would say, 1.5 years. And it was like, it felt hard, you guys, relate. If the grind feels like hard and like, and do this and do that. And I'm now back in the state where I really enjoy the grind. I get up at 4 in the morning every day. And it felt really hard when I had to grind, but right now it feels amazing. And I think it's only because, and this is the third lesson I really learned, it's because it's you versus you. And there was for me also like 2021, I did some crazy thing. It's called human design. I don't know if anybody has heard of this kind of stuff. A friend of mine, she is like a spiritual teacher or some kind of that. And I'm absolutely not into this stuff. I only, do things I can understand. But she did this for me, and she found out what my profile was. So how is Bernd? What's meaningful to him? How are his relationships? What can he drive in business, and so on and so forth. And she found out that the most important thing, or one of the most important thing for me, is you versus you. And instead of focusing on some guru on Instagram, or, hey, this is my buddy, I know him and he's buying his third Ferrari, whatever, why I'm not having 3 Ferraris right now, and all this kind of stuff, I was rather focused on me, just for me, that's it. And at the end of the day, if I was satisfied with the things I've done, then I I was satisfied, no matter what the result was. And this was such a phenomenal, thing for me. You heard this already, probably. It's always you versus you, but to really like live it, do it, and then at the end of the day, just look back and say, hey, what you did today, was this something you can be proud of, or was this something you maybe could have done better? And if it's something you were proud of, you say, okay, up to the next one. So those are the three learnings. It's like toxic relationships, even if we know that they are toxic, they also like get you in change unconsciousness, and then the free mind power you get if you release those relationships, it's really magical. The second thing is really the focus, a really, really big part. And the third thing is it's always you versus you. And no matter if, some guy on Instagram is doing this or that, at the end of the day, if you did a good job, if you completed your task, if you, can be proud of yourself, then it's a great day, and then proceed to the next one.
We'll open it up to a Q&A. If you have a question, just hit that little electronic raised hand there at the bottom there. We'll get it rolling. So Jem, looks like you have a question. What you got, my man?
Yeah, this is about like structuring lifestyle. So I was just wondering what time you go to bed in order to wake up at 4 o'clock and feel good about it.
Normally right now, so at 9:30, and then I can easily get up at 4. But that's the only trick, right? To go to bed early. If you're, up until midnight, then it's kind of hard. And then you do this like 2 times in a row, and then you suck at it. But 9:30, and then it works pretty fine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Miguel.
Hey, how you doing? I have a question. What are some like daily routines that you have, just daily wise?
Daily wise, so get up early is one of the main crucial things, but don't, be that crazy. So my alarm clock is at 4. If it's 4:10, that's all right. If it's 4:30, it's all right. Even if it's 4:45, that's all right. So alarm clock is at 4. Normally I'm up at 4, and then I do like 2 hours of really focused work, because that's very, very, very important. And maybe some of you have like a team, and I have a team. Once I'm in my office, I'm like, they're all going crazy. Can we do this? Can we do that? This. Even if they know there are some kind of appointments and I have blocked out my day, it's always like a reactive state versus an active state. So I want to get in the active state early mornings, no social media, no emails, no nothing. Just do the things which I wrote down the day prior on at night. So I write down like the 3 top things I want to accomplish next morning. And then I really work 2 hours focused on those things in an active mode. Because once I'm in the office, everything's crazy is happening, and everybody wants something of you. So I need those kind of 2 hours, at least 2 hours in the morning of doing active work. And it's like this. One of my business partner, for example, he's not I gotta go up very early in the morning. So he's more the night worker, which is totally fine as well. But people don't get the concept. The concept is just like, get yourself this kind of focused action time when nobody can distract you. Is very important to really work on the, eat the frog, biggest task, on the really, really important task. And it depends on how long you can do it a day. If you can do it 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, that will really move the needle. So I get up, work 2 hours, very, very focused. I grab a light breakfast, and then I do like a half an hour of like some easy work. So just browse through some stuff. What is the day bringing me? Just preparing for the day. Then I get a workout in. It's either a gym workout, or I go on the treadmill or on the bike for 45-50 minutes. Then I go shower, and then I head to the office where the craziness begin, more or less. And then I have like my normal working day until I would say 5 or 6. Try to get home early to see my kids. I have like 2 little kids, and then spend some time with my wife, wind down, and go to bed at 9:30.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ahmed.
My question is, how do you balance out your work life with your like family or friends and just your personal life?
That's a tough one, honestly. That's not an easy. So first of all, friends. I lost a lot of friends. Really like a lot of friends. Who were like a little bit envious, a little bit, don't work so much. You're gonna get a heart attack. You're gonna get this. And our mindset like split apart because maybe we know each other when we were young, but then I developed like the personal developing, like the business developing and all this kind of stuff, and they stayed the same. And then there's some part where you can get along, and then it will break, and it's totally fine. I think that's the first thing. So if you're really following your way and do your thing, there's no space for probably every friend you ever had. They gotta ride with you, and the majority of people won't do this, right? And in terms of family and my kids, I try to really block out dates. I don't work on weekends. I did prior to that, like separating Sundays, right? So I don't work on weekends. I try to be at home at 5:30 or so to spend some time with them. I also get them to school in the morning if I can. So I have like a 45-minute time period where I can spend time with them. And this works pretty good for me. So be early, work. Then they come I stay up at 4. They get up at 6:30 or so, and then we maybe catch some breakfast together or talk a little bit. So we have some time in the morning, some time in the evening, and that works pretty good. But in terms of friends, I lost a few. I won new one, but the majority of your friends probably don't want to see you successful. Maybe that's what I've heard so often and often.
Right.
Does this help?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, honestly.
Thank you for that. Mr. Charles Campbell, what you got?
So I just need to know, you said something interesting, which made me relate. You were saying that you was like burnt out, like you weren't on the grind and you like picked it back up. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because, I was going through that and I'm starting to slowly pick up, getting back onto the grind and actually enjoy the hustle. So can you break that down a little bit more?
Sure. So what I've did like with this like human design, what I've told you earlier with my friend there, it's really like understanding who I am. It sounds a little bit weird, but I mean, if you can write me on Instagram, I can connect you or whatever. It's okay. More or less understand my character. How am I? What is important for me? And this was so accurate. I was like stunned. You don't know me that well. This is crazy. So one of my character traits is like, it's always bigger. It always must be better. There's something else, right? So, all right, here's a great achievement. That's a cool 2 comma cup, like cool. Where's the next one? Why I don't have like 3? And understanding this gave me this like kind of perspective. Okay, like chasing the next goal is fine, but what's the price for chasing the next goal? And by understanding this, I told myself, all right, I'm super happy. I have a great family. I have a lot of money in terms of what I can spend. I have a nice house. I have everything I really need. And maybe it's time to really enjoy a little bit and let go to proceed to the next level. And this sounds a little bit awkward, but a lot of my very successful friends, they also like told me like, sometimes you try to reach a goal like just so focused. You have to step back, let it go, just let it happen and let it be uncontrolled. So I'm a person, I like to control in every situation, but sometimes I maybe just let it go and things will go their way. And I started with this practice, I would say a few months ago, and it feels phenomenal because I don't have to have control about everything. And I'm just more faithful that, it will work in some kind of way. And if I have like a day where I'm super stressed out and I'm always asking myself why I'm not there where I want to be, I say, all right, that's this day. Let's call it a day. Just let it go. Tomorrow is a new day. And tomorrow we'll work on that again. And this you versus you helped me a lot to say, all right, I maybe don't have like the 8-figure award right now, but that's all right. If I have a good day versus me today, that's fine. And then the next day and the next day, and be more like have the center more on me than on other people. And this helped me with this kind of thing pretty good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Hope this helps.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Corey.
So you mentioned human design and your Happy Hustle podcast. Are there any other forms of personal development that you do?
I did a lot. I mean, I did like really a lot. I read a lot of books. I did the Tony Robbins stuff. I think in terms of personal development, it's more doing less and really execute the stuff than consuming a lot of information. That's the thing for everything, right? Because I have like a bookshelf of 1,000 books or something like this, but it's probably you just got to read 4 and then execute them and you're all set and ready to go. And I don't force myself to finish this book on this topic, this book on this topic, this book on this topic. I think it's the information is more or less, I would say it's similar, like Tony Robbins and some kind of other gurus are kind of the same information backed in some different words. And I try to understand the core principles of it. And then I try to, see where the core principles appear in my life. And then I try to really work on that and then always question myself. But there's not like the magic book or the magic podcast or something like this. I really like do it when I enjoy it and say, all right, that's why I'm feeling this way. That's why I'm feeling this way. And then I do some kind of course or whatever, or going to a live event. I think the kind of energy is amazing, which you get in a Tony Robbins live event, for example. It's really cool. And that's how I approach personal development.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Miguel.
About the book, I was wondering what is one book that you highly recommend?
I showed you a book which is directly on my desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mean personal development wise or any book?
More okay, personal development wise.
Okay, then I would say it's Psycho-Cybernetics. You know that book?
How do you spell that?
Psycho-Cybernetics, like psycho. Cybernetics, and it's from Maxwell Maltz, and it has a lot to do with like visualization, mindset, and it's really cool. It's a classic one, I would say. So maybe some of you maybe know that. I mean, Maxwell Maltz is the author.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. I got a question for you, Bernd. What is something that you learned like later on in your career that you wish you knew more of starting off?
Sales, baby. Sales,
go.
definitely sales. I mean, you guys into sales, I know that. And yeah, I honestly did sales like, all right, this kind of dude maybe knows his stuff. We should buy with him. So I approached sales, I would say 4 or 5 years ago. But having a really like system in place, building the sales team, having like the setting calls, doing the closing calls with a script and all this kind of stuff. That is what I really wanted to know earlier, because I lost a lot of money because of that, especially in the agency space, because agencies nowadays, they work, or the old agency model is like, all right, I'm an agency. So people come to me and they wish whatever they want, like a website, social media, this and this and this and this. And then I do whatever they want because I'm just collecting orders. That's all I do. And the magic trick though is having like one product which you really can fulfill on, which you really can find a result on, generate your own leads, and then close those leads, and then do this over and over and over again and streamline it. And this is how we can have like a margin in our agency 40% and up, which is really good for an agency, I would say. But this is the thing, and the sales part is so critical in this, because it's like not collecting orders anymore. It's like creating those opportunities and then let them see in the mirror and then close them by, you know, the tactics you guys teach and yeah, really make this deal and already have the solution done and ready.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Mr. Corey.
What book do you have on your desk, man?
There was so the book on my desk, which I really like, it's probably one of the most favorite books I read in the last few weeks. It's probably, you guys know that. It's from Alex Hormozi, $100 million offers. I think Alex is amazing. I met him once at some ClickFunnels event where he wasn't famous yet. And I think that's really good stuff, especially in the agency space. I think like all the kind of offers are going in this kind of direction. I love when he says that people probably don't have the skill already. That's like a profound saying, but that is true. And I also ask myself, all right, people come to me and they say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And then you get in this kind of state, hey, I gotta know everything. But then you gotta ask yourself, all right, is your copywriting really on point? Is this really on point? Are you knowing everything? Or, you know, step back and say, hey, how can I be the best in my niche? How can I train my skill? How can I be, you know, more humbled, I would say. And this is what the books is for me, and also like this different kind of approach on how to do offers, because if it's like an offer which is result based, you can make way more money, but you gotta deliver as well. So that's very important.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. Mr. Ahmed.
Basically, did you have the vision like that this is what you were getting into? Like, did you see yourself like becoming what you are now?
Nope. I just wanted to make money, honestly. I think that's okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make money. I just wanted to buy all this cool stuff. That's how it started, right? Mm-hmm. When I got kids, then I said, all right, I want to have the best education. I want to have this for my kids, all this kind of stuff. But, you know, there's also like something people often say, you got to have this vision, this clear mission, this clear whatever thing. That's why you're here on planet Earth, whatever. Mm-hmm. I say, all right, let's just try it out, go for it and do whatever makes you fun, makes you feel good, and then find the mission on your way. Because there's also like something you're gonna have fun in some kind of skill once you get good at it. Yeah. Right. So that's very important thing. Once you're good at it, then it's probably fun because other people look up to you and say, hey, wow, you're good at this particular part. You're good at this particular part. And I think like a vision or mission is something which develops, because most of people, they don't actually have it, right? Or they think about it all the time, and I say, hey, just do it and then let the mission find you.
Exactly. That's good. And to the second part of my question, like you said about your coworkers, how you have to have like always be on his top of his head and stuff. Do you have like any other weaknesses like coming to this point?
I have a lot of weaknesses, man. One of it is don't finishing stuff, I think. So I have like, I don't know, 1,000 files of copy I started to write and never finished, something like this. But I have a really good business partner who is like the exact opposite of mine. So I come up with this crazy idea and throw everything around, do this, and he finishes it. Okay. But it's also like some kind of belief, and it's also something I implemented a while ago, which is, no, I'm the guy who finish every task. And that's what I want I want to see me. And I'm finishing more since then. So it's how you self-talk.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I got a question for you. I'm sure as far as your careers go, there's been plenty of roadblocks, struggles they've had to overcome. So my question is, what kind of roadblocks have you had to overcome, and how did you go about that?
What kind of roadblocks? Oh yeah, there were plenty of it. I mean,
I guess give me like your top.
yeah, I mean, we lost almost like 250K like in a day, something like this, struggling. And there are a lot of things happened, and this is probably a trait which is good. I tend to forget these things, right? I don't think about it anymore. If something bad occurs, I tend to forget it and say, all right, oh yeah, this was kind of a struggle. But by the beginning of the next week, I never think about this anymore. So there are a lot of crazy things, like people who work for us. They said, all right, we gotta go from one day to the other. Like big clients say, all right, we can do this. We started in like an office with no heating, with a light which was very very low, and I had like this kind of cut scene there, and there was like a banner behind me, and the office looked really shitty, like really crap. And then we have a really nice office right now with the motorcycle because I like it. But there are so many roadblocks. I can't even name them all or say, all right, this was the biggest thing. So there is probably a roadblock every 2 days.
Right.
But just forget it. I would say just forget it.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that. And then probably the same way as far as doubt goes, because there's probably, especially starting off, probably had a little bit of doubt, right? Just pretty much forget about it, move on. Is how you kind of handled it.
I think doubt is part of the game. It
Right.
is there's no such thing like the right way. There's always like this doubt. Am I on the right path? Is my offer right? I'm with the right partner? Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? This. But I think like embrace the unperfect way. I think it's the thing we got to do. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs giving up too early. They just, niche hopping all the time, or doing this and doing that and doing this and doing this, because they say, no, that's not good. I found something better. I found something better. And I think to give yourself some kind of time frame where you stay on this kind of things, also when you're doubting it, it's really, really important. Otherwise you won't develop, right? It's also like some guy, I forget his name. He's having like a saying, your skills are like here, and then there's a roadblock, and then you can, try to solve this roadblock and go further, or do something else, and then start here, and then just climb until the same level again, because you're not capable of solving this roadblock. So whenever doubt comes in your mind, just stick with it. Believe that the way you do is the right way, and also like give yourself some time. That's also some critical thing. I think we all, like entrepreneurs, think we gotta be rich in 2 weeks or something like this. Oh, we gotta launch this funnel in 1 week, and then we have the 2 Comma Club flag and everything is fine. And we see this on the internet all the time, but there's a lot of work going into, and then there's a lot of time going into. And give yourself some time to really develop the things, and then overcome your doubt, and then you will succeed, I would say.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That's really helpful. So I appreciate that.
How long did it take you to get to where you're at right now?
I'm doing this for 15 years already. So 15 years, I would say. I mean, it's kind of, I started with digital marketing. So then I worked in an agency. Then I did a lot of affiliate stuff, made some money with it. Then I decided to build my own agency. Then I, did always like some kind of milestones, but all the journey started 15 years ago, I would say. And my agency is now 4 years old. Yeah, 4 years. And so within 4 years, we didn't hit 7 figures the first year. We hit like 800K or something like this. We did hit it the second year then. And then obviously more and more. But I already had some skills. So, I mean, I trained all this kind of skills. And then when we started the own agency, or like did it on our own, it went pretty fast, I would say, but it's not an overnight success. It's like the prior years I had to develop to, I had to put in to develop the skills, I would say.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
And I know, Bernd, you said you didn't, if you look way back, you really didn't see yourself in this point in your career, but I wanted to ask, like, what's like your 10-year vision? Like, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Not working anymore, honestly. I mean, not have to work anymore. That's definitely the vision or the goal. So I want to, build something where I can just sit back, relax, and do whatever I want. And I think that's pretty possible. Not even 10 years. I would say like do it in 5. It's better in 5. And do some real estate stuff. So, get some passive income on there. Do some investing stuff, which I'm looking into right now. But I want to have like enough money to travel the world with my family if I want. Not have to work. I will work definitely because it's fun for me. But I want to just live out of my, real estate income and like agency income, because I think the agency is also something you can rely on if you have the systems in place. If you find some good CEO and all this kind of stuff, you can work pretty good. But that's the goal. Yeah, definitely.
Ultimately, like at the end of the day, what would you like to be remembered for?
That's a really good question. I would say one of my things I really love, and that's what I miss a little bit about the consulting part, is to really help people out in some kind of different situations in which I have been already, and just show them, look, you are here. That's kind of a struggle, but at the end of the day, you can overcome the struggle, and then you go over there and go further. And then I would love to be remembered for, this was the guy who didn't give up on me. This was the guy who pushed me when I needed to be pushed. And without this guy, my success wouldn't have been possible. And I think there are not 1,000 connections or 500 connections, but maybe there are 50, 20, whatever connections where you really can help, where you really can, help this kind of people to develop, help this kind of people to grow past what they self could imagine that is possible.
Awesome. Sounds good. I appreciate that. And I want to go back to, I know earlier on you mentioned how, a lot of entrepreneurs, they quit too soon, like way too early before they really get into it. So, I mean, have you ever had that moment where you were like this close to quitting?
Yeah, I had it a couple of times, but I had more moments where I was too fast to the market. That was my point. So, for example, like chatbots, right? Chatbots nowadays, it's the thing, right? But I did chatbots maybe back in 2014 or something like this. So nobody knew what a chatbot was. Like Mike Yank, the CEO from ManyChat, he was like a young guy, and I met him at a conference and said, all right, this is really cool what you're doing like there, and let's figure this out. And then I had an offer on chatbots, and the market did not understand what this should do for them. And I had this really often that the market wasn't ready for my offer, because I'm always wanted to be like innovative and like doing this and the new stuff, this stuff and this stuff. So my learning was more like, all right, just relax a little bit and wait till the market is ready. There is nothing like competition or you gotta find the new thing, right? When there's competition, there is money in the market. That's definitely right. So don't be afraid of competition and try to always want to have the newest, fanciest offer, because that won't get you far. You will go further if you, play in a market where there are competitors, because this means that there's also money moved around. And this was more of kind of my thing, like innovated way too early, and then the market wasn't ready, and then I was boring, and then I gave up on the thing because I thought, all right. And then 5 years later, somebody totally crushed it with this topic.
You said that you had your own agency. Like, how long were you working to like get to that point?
I would say 8 years.
8
Yeah,
years. Okay.
I was working 8 years in an agency, and then I got to the point where I started my own agency. But that's a funny story. It's not because I wanted to do it on my own or some kind of thing. I was like a member of the board in my old agency, and I really like, you know, had my own unit. I had my digital marketing unit. This was an agency with 40 people, and we wanted to found a new agency with the CEO of my old agency. So, but this was also like some kind of toxic relationship. Even if I looked up to him in the beginning of my years, I have seen that their hunger is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And he was like, all right, I have this kind of very important appointment at Friday at 3 p.m. or something like this. And he was like shopping with his wife or all this kind of stuff. And it was constantly the feeling, or he had constantly feeling, I put him under pressure because I go very, very fast. And this was kind of thing. And I asked myself, am I too fast? Am I the problem in this equation? Am I the guy who should relax, step back, not going this fast? Because that's what I heard always from him saying, but it's totally bullshit. You go your pace, and if the other people can't catch up with you, then they are the wrong people. And that was the point where I decided, all right, those are the wrong people. I got to do it on my own.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Corey.
If there was one thing that you would recommend us to like start implementing tomorrow, like what would it be?
I would say the most important things, obviously, in a business is marketing and sales. And you can't have enough skills in this kind of skill set, but you also got to execute. The one thing I would say you got to implement is execute in either marketing or sales or both, because you can't do sales if you don't have any leads, right? And just like do this like 80% of your time. Everything else will follow. If your fulfillment isn't ready, it will follow. If your product isn't ready, it will follow. But without marketing and sales, and really have the focus on like these two topics, you will have a tough time.
I guess for you, Bernd, I mean, what would you say, especially, you know, throughout your career, everyone has their why of why they're doing what they're doing, and different things that motivate, like me and I'm sure you, but what would you say, like, what's your why? What kind of motivates you to do what you do?
I think my why is just freedom. I just want to be really independent, like country wise, like everything. And if you get money, you are pretty much independent. You can do whatever you want. And that's my why. I just want to be free. I want my family to be free. I want to be able to move wherever I want. I want to, you know, get the best resources I can possibly have. And then, you know, don't work in a system or be in a system where I'm forced to do things I don't want. I just want to do the things I really like. And I think this is my why, because I want to be free. And to be really free, you need a lot of, you know, resources, a lot of money, a lot of processes, all this kind of stuff. But that's the main goal, I would say.
So basically right now you're still working as like, or not still, like you still have your agency running, of course, but like, is there anything else that you're trying to create or make to get another source of income other than real estate, you said?
No, because actually I had this consulting based business, which was 7 figures, which we really ended this in 2022. I have my agency, which makes the money. And sure, there's some kind of investments like stock, real estate, all this kind of stuff, but that's all right. But I don't want to have another project. Okay. I've just seen like how focus can really move the needle for you. So I don't want to do anything else. And this is a recommendation for all of you, because the more successful you get, the more people will show up and say, hey, let's do this, let's partner up here, let's do this. And you got to be really good in saying no. Saying no, even if you love it, right? Even if you think, oh, that's really cool, I would love to do this project, would love to do this project and this project. So I think it's more important to say no to the opportunities you get, and just stay focused on the things you really try to, you know, get going. And this will move you further than hopping around all the time. And I'm right now pretty good saying no, but you know, sometimes you gotta say yes, but then it's just a small yes and then say no again. That's my wise advice. I'm also like not always no. Sometimes I do some fun projects if I like to.